look scared. He should be. It is the end of the world.
What's happening?
He wants to take control of you. It's up to you to resist him.
There's a way to save the world and still survive.
All you have to do is choose life.
So this episode is continuing right from the last one. I'm guessing there won't be a time jump. Like typically there's a week in between each episode. I'm guessing this one will take place right after it, or maybe Elongated Man's been missing for a week or something. But in the last episode, Ralph was attacked by Bloodwork after the whole episode set him up as the successor of for the Flash, for the main hero of Central City after the Flash dies in the Crisis, and he even got a new logo on his costume. He was then attacked by Bloodwork. In this episode, it probably will begin with revolving around, like I said, Elongated Man being missing and being kidnapped by Bloodwork, because he's not going to be killed. Not only has it been confirmed that Ralph is appearing in the Crisis, but also there's the whole Sue Dearman storyline and the fact that she has been cast, actually, for the second half of Season 6. Ralph is not dead and won't be going away for a while, probably, so this won't be Ralph's death. It will be he's kidnapped by Bloodwork, and this will lead to Bloodwork giving Barry some sort of offer, an offer that is what the title, The Last Temptation of Barry Allen, is referring to, an offer that probably might save his life in the Crisis. So the trailer starts with Barry crying, and I'm guessing this crying has to do with the Crisis. Last time, or one of the other times we saw him looking at the future, looking at the Crisis in episode 2, that led to him crying because not only did he know he was going to die, but also there would be trillions of people in billions of alternate universes in the multiverse that would all be destroyed. So this is probably involving that. Like I said, he's not crying over the death of anyone because the Elongated Man is not dead, and the entire cast is appearing in the Crisis, so he's crying about the Crisis that is about to happen in probably 2 weeks, or, in universe it's going to be 2 weeks maybe, but in real life, obviously, it's going to be 2 weeks after this episode airs. So after we see the shot of Barry crying and Ramsey say, you look scared, you should be, we see a shot of Barry looking out the window with Ramsey in the background, looking at a wave of antimatter destroy Central City and the rest of the universe. Now what this is, like I said, it's definitely a part of the hallucination, or whatever dream world Barry is in at this point because of Ramsey. It's not him looking at the future, like we saw in the past. It's not an actual scene from the Crisis, that's for sure. It's definitely a shot from this hallucination. I mean, we know it's that, but we know also that this entire thing is hallucination, and this is not actually happening, nor is he actually seeing the future. But then after this, we see Ramsey say it's the end of the world, so I think this definitely maybe answers my question over whether Ramsey learns about the Crisis and learns about the end of all existence. As he says it's the end of the world, he even sees this wave of antimatter before him, so it's possible that he does, but at the same time, it's possible that this isn't even a Ramsey, that this isn't even a real person. It's even also this in Barry's hallucination from whatever he's going through, but I guess we're gonna have to wait for the episode to come out to learn what that is. So after the beginning of the trailer, we really learned what the episode's going to mainly be about. It's going to mainly be about Bloodwork trying to take over Barry's life, or Barry's body, as Nora, the whatever hallucination version of Nora we see here, is telling Barry that that's what's going on here, and Barry has to fight back. And one thing that we probably know will happen is that Barry won't successfully be able to fight back in this episode in particular, as this is a two-parter, and there's also some set photos of Barry having this negative energy around him. People suspect that this was the negative Flash, where he is affected by the negative Speed Force, but it is more likely that they're using that design but taking Bloodwork instead, as Bloodwork is taking over his body. So that's probably what's going to happen here. This whole episode will involve Barry trying to fight back against Bloodwork, trying to take him over, and also Bloodwork offering him something that might help him survive the Crisis and also save the multiverse, or at least the universe. But Barry in the end will not successfully fight back and become taken over by Bloodwork, or he will give in because maybe it's his only option, or maybe it's the best option because then he'll survive the Crisis. So one thing we see that's going to happen during these hallucinations is that Ramsey will probably show Barry what the world will look like if he survives, or maybe what the world will look like if he dies after the crisis, if the crisis doesn't destroy the entire multiverse, which is that Nora Allen or Nora West Allen will exist. Maybe they're not going to name her that, maybe it's going to be Dawn Allen or something else, but we see a crib with the Access logos hanging above it, and there's also a baby in there. That's definitely the daughter of Barry and Iris, and Ramsey's probably showing Barry the future, what the future would look like if he survives. So to tempt him, hence the title of the episode, The Last Temptation of Barry Allen Part 1, to be taken over by himself, Bloodwork. So we finally get to see the actual article and what it looks like at this point, the new version of the article, which is like Article 4.0. The first one was from the first episode of The Flash, which had the first picture, and the crisis was from 2024. The second one was from the post-Flashpoint timeline, where Iris didn't exist anymore, and it wasn't even about the crisis. Then there was the one after that, after they prevented Iris's death. This new one had Batwoman and Elongated Man in the article. But then there's this one after the ending of the season 5 finale, changed the crisis from 2024 to 2019. Now we're seeing this new article yet again, which this time around has the new Flash season 6 suit, which the picture itself definitely, I mean, the last picture was iconic, but this one is, I think, a lot cooler. Not only is this suit amazing, but also the background. It looks like he's in the Speed Force or something, which is a picture that Iris could not have possibly have gotten unless Barry took a selfie while he was running, and then his phone or his camera or whatever was recovered by Iris. Whatever, it's a really cool looking picture, and we don't really see much of the actual article, as all we see is Iris talking about the past, talking about how she named the Flash originally the Streak, and then he became the Flash, and I'm guessing we're going to see more of the article in the future, but this is really cool. We're finally seeing this version of the article, probably the final version of the article, before the new timeline yet again where Barry never dies, and the article maybe is about the Green Arrow instead, which I guess that would mean this is not the final version of the article. At least I hope it's not. I really hope the article ends up being about the Green Arrow and maybe other people in the crisis who dies, while Barry probably won't. But from that, it's probably going to connect to the Iris storyline, where it seems like she's maybe writing this article knowing that Barry's going to die before he actually does, as we see the actual article possibly in the hallucination storyline with Barry, as he sees the article and he sees that he's going to go missing on December 11th, and this is probably when he's going to die. But the article has the same picture from the original article, not the new one with the new costume that he's using, which maybe this is just what Barry knows. This is just Barry seeing the original article with the new date, because him having that costume in this new timeline makes no sense, because he doesn't have that costume. He has the season 6 costume, which is what we see in that other new article. So I'm guessing this was just the original article with the new date, as Barry has never seen the actual new article that Iris is currently making with the new suit and the new article itself with the writing. So there's a shot of somebody drawing some red over Barry Allen after it. There's an article about him where he won the Medal of Honor last episode, and here we see somebody drawing over him in red, trying to make the Flash mask to see if he looks like the Flash. This is definitely Allegra after Nash told her that Barry Allen is the Flash in the last episode, but I'm guessing that she will be a part of Iris' storyline, in which the synopsis says that Iris will uncover some vast conspiracy. It might be connected to Bloodwork or the Crisis or the Eternium or Nash or the Monitor even, and honestly I don't know, so we're just gonna have to wait for next week to find out. But I'm definitely excited for that storyline, even though it's not going to be the best part of the episode by far, because the best part will obviously involve Barry and Bloodwork. So that is it for the trailer breakdown for this episode, but there is one more thing I want to talk about, something that I wouldn't really talk about in its own in its own video, but there isn't really any other time to talk about it, and that's the reveal of the poster for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and this is the poster. In the poster we see the Monitor, Constantine, Lois Lane, Superman, the Harbinger, the Earth Kingdom Come Superman, Lex Luthor, Martian Manhunter, Iris West, the Earth 90 Flash, Vibe, Heatwave, White Canary, the Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Lightning, Green Arrow, and Batwoman, and there are a couple of characters who are missing. I think most notably a character who I thought would have a very large role in this crisis, and I thought it's a character who would be killed off in this crisis, and that's the Atom. Isn't even in the poster at all, which is probably because they wouldn't really put two characters who are played by the same actor on one poster, because they probably put all these characters on a poster because of the actors and things like that. So yeah, it makes sense that Brandon Routh isn't on the poster twice, but just the fact that the Atom isn't on this poster is a little unusual. However, I do think this poster is definitely a really cool one. Obviously, it very much reminds me of the Infinity War poster, which is on purpose, or it's just a coincidence, because, I mean, to have all these characters in one event, it definitely, there's no real other way to make a poster unless it's just focused on one or two characters, like the Flash and the Green Arrow. But yeah, this is very similar to the Infinity War poster, which is a good thing, because Crisis on Infinite Earths is maybe more so the endgame of the Arrowverse, but it definitely is the Infinity War / endgame storyline of the Arrowverse. And while this is definitely not going to be like as big budget as Infinity War or Endgame, and I doubt it's going to be as good, the fact that this is the Endgame and Infinity War of television is definitely really, really exciting. And yeah, this poster looks really cool. My one problem with the poster has to do with the vibe, because it's clearly from a previous poster from season 4, and I don't know, it bothers me because I've seen that pose before with literally every other character. It seems like they took a new pose with the character except for Vibe, which is a little unusual, but overall it is a pretty cool poster. And while I do think John Jones should be in the Martian Manhunter form, I don't know, those two things are definitely nitpicky. It's a cool poster.